Before we move on to looking at our front elevation, I'm actually going to take a second to correct this line work here. You'll see the hidden lines don't quite look right at the moment. If I zoom into them and type in RE into the command line and hit enter, you'll see those lines, the dashes get smaller. If I zoom out and type in RE, enter into the command line again, you'll see those lines get bigger. We don't want that because that means it's not going to print consistently. So to correct that, I'll show you how to edit the line type. So if we go up to Format, click on Line Styles, we get the Line Styles dialog box pop up. We're using hidden lines for this one, so I'm going to click on Hidden and then go down to this button here, the Modify button, click on that. You'll see here that this is the setout that defines the line type. So you can see this line has a dash that's 0.25 long and then a space that's 0.125 long. Now we'll want our dashes to be 3 mm long and our space in between those dashes to be 1 mm long. So I type that in and click down here and you can see those dashes have changed size. I'll hit OK, OK again. You'll see that really hasn't fixed our problem yet because these lines are still changing depending on our zoom. So to fix that, I'm going to select one of these legs, go up to Modify, hit Properties, and this opens up the Properties dialog for the object. So these are just the settings for that specific object. I'm going to be looking at the pen property. In this property, we can set the line type, the scale of the line type, the color, and the way DoubleCAD actually scales the line type in view. So we want to set this to world, so it uses one scale consistently, and I want to set the dash scale to 10 because we'll be using a scale of 1 to 10 in Paperspace. So if I hit OK on that, hit Escape, hit RE, you'll see it doesn't change. Zoom in, RE, it doesn't change, and that looks about right. So now to get that same change to affect all the other hidden lines, I can go through and click on them individually and go through the properties, or I can use the Match Properties tool. So to do that, I'm going to type in MA and hit enter, and you'll see it says select the source object. So I'm going to select the leg we just changed. Click on that, and you'll see you get the options of what properties you can actually match. So I'm just going to leave all of these ticked, and then I'm going to click on this other leg. You can see that's changed the line type property. So I'll go through and click on all the objects that need to be shown as hidden. So now when we print that, we know the line type scale is going to be right. Now that we've got our plan looking about right, we're going to create a front elevation. So our front elevation is going to be looking at our bench top in this direction here. So we want our front elevation to line up directly underneath our bench top. So to do that, I'm going to draw a line straight down. I'll hit F8 to turn on auto. Aligned with this left edge of the bench top. So this is going to form our left edge of our front elevation. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, click on the bottom of that line and type in @ 1200 in the X direction and 45 in the Y direction. So that's created our elevation view of our bench top. So I can delete this line now. We've got that edge and it's lined up perfectly. Now I'm going to draw the side bits of timber on the side here, which are 45 by 90 deep. So I click on the rectangle tool, click on the bottom edge of that bench top, I type in the @ 45 in the X direction, comma, and because we want to move this down, we're going to type in -90 into the Y direction. So that's given us our little side timber. Now you can see that hasn't snapped onto the edge right, so I'll just click on the move tool, pick that corner, and it lines up. Now I'm going to use the mirror tool to mirror that side timber, hit F8 to make sure it's a straight line, to the other side. We've got one more bit of timber in front here, so I'm going to click on the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle from that corner to that corner. Now these bits of timber on the side should actually be hidden in this view because they're hidden behind this front bit of timber. So I'm going to use the match properties tool again. So type in MA, hit enter, click on one of these hidden lines up here, and then click on these timbers on the side. Now if I click on that, so I'll hit the select button again, click on that, you'll see it's changed the layer as well. Now I'm going to draw the legs in. This bench is going to be 1 meter high, so I'm going to just draw a line horizontal across the top of the bench. Now I'm going to use the offset tool here. Now what the offset tool does, it creates a copy of this line and it will move it a set distance from the original in a certain direction. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to type in 1000 in the offset, and then I'm going to click on the side that I want it to offset to. So I want this to offset down, so I'm just going to click on this side and you'll see it's created a copy, and the distance between that line and that line is 1000. So that's good. So I'm going to click on the select tool. Now I want to draw the legs in, so I click on the line tool, click on the bottom of this corner here and just draw that line straight down. Now if I hover over this end of the line, I get those extended snaps on. So I do that and then just click down there. This is a 19mm wide leg, so I'm going to type in at 90 in the X and 0 in the Y. Draw that line up till we get the perpendicular snap to the bottom of there. So that's one leg. We've got one more little hidden line because these legs run right up to the bottom of this bench top. I'm just going to draw one more line in there. Use the match properties tool. So MA, enter. And copy the hidden line to that one. Now I can delete these two lines. And I'm going to use the mirror tool to flip that leg to the other side. So make sure you've got ortho on, so you're mirroring around a perfectly vertical axis. And that's flip that. Now there's two more bits of timber that need to go on this, which are little bracing beams on the side. So I'm just going to copy these two side ones we've drawn down. You'll notice when I click on this line here, I get this little box pop up. Now that pops up because I've got two lines right on top of each other, so it's asking me which one I want to select. So when I hover over this first polyline, you'll see this rectangle turns green. When I hover over the second one, you'll see this long one, which is the second one I drew, turn green. Now we want this little one here, so I'm going to click on the first one. I'm going to click copy, and I'm going to copy that one down at 0 in the X and negative 800 in the Y. I'm going to use the match properties tool, MA, to make that a solid line. And then I'm just going to mirror this. Click on the select tool after using match properties, mirror this to the other side of the bench. And that's our front elevation done. So that was relatively quick since we had our plan view set up. Now I'll run you through setting up the end view. Now thankfully our end elevation is going to be even quicker than our front elevation because we can use our plan view and our front elevation to use construction lines to set up our set out. So if I click on the construction line tool on the side here, click and hold my mouse button, I get this extended menu. Now I want to click on the horizontal construction line. Now these construction lines are not real lines, they're just sort of guidelines we use to set out for our line work. So I'm going to click on all of these points here that I'm going to have lines in my end view. So that's shot those lines over, so now I can use these to set out. Now the trick to getting the construction lines from the plan view to my end view is to click and hold on this. Now I want to draw an angular construction line. So I click on this top corner and I want my angle to be 45 degrees. You'll see the little angle box pops up down here. So I type in 45 and hit enter. Click on that corner and now I've got a 45-degree angle. The reason I did this is if I click on construction line and go some more horizontal, I can draw horizontal lines straight out from this plan view. Everywhere I'm going to need a line in my end view, and actually shoot those down with vertical construction lines, snap to the intersections on that 45-degree line. So what that's pretty much done is the same as picking up this plan view and rotating it 90 degrees so it lines up. So now I've got all of these construction lines in place. I can just quickly draw my end elevation in. So there's my bench tops. Oops, that's actually two separate planks. So I draw one to there. If I hit space, it will repeat the last command I just did. So I hit space and it's repeated rectangles. So I do that again. Click from there to there. Space because I want another rectangle for the side piece. Space again. Space again. So you can see it's just repeated that rectangle command. Now to do the legs, I'm going to draw a line from this point down until I hit this point here. Now I'm going to draw another line, so hit space to repeat that line command, and you'll see I get that extended snap on. So I click there, and click. This is the other edge of my leg. So if I click here and here, that's a 90 wide piece of leg. Hit space again to draw a new line, snap that down there. Now I'm going to hit the rectangle tool, snap from that point to that point. So this is the elevation view of this little framing timber. I'll show you the break tool as well. So I'm going to just draw this leg as one rectangle. So if I click on that point and then the bottom point here, now you'll see that this is all treated as one object. Now over on the side here I've got the explode tool. Now what that does, when I click that, it separates this rectangle into its individual lines. So I can delete that top line. So I've got a bunch of lines here. Now the line behind here is going to be hidden. The problem is that's one solid line running through there. I will quickly turn off my construction lines to make it a bit clearer. So if I go up to edit, go clear, all constructions, it turns off those construction lines. So these are the lines I'm talking about. They need to be shown hidden behind this side framing timber. So I'm going to go over to the right here. You see there's a button called split entity. So I click on that, click on my line, and then I click the point I want to break that line. Repeat that again for the bottom, and when I click on this line you'll see it's actually cut it at those points I clicked. So if I use the match properties tool now, I can grab a hidden line and match that property. Use the copy tool to copy this hidden line from here. Oops, sorry, after match properties tool you need to hit select again. So select that line, hit copy, pick that point, copy it over there. Now you can see I've drawn this bit of timber too far out, so what I'm going to use now is the stretch command. On the right there's a command that's looks like a box with half a triangle next to it, so I click on that, and it says select the objects to stretch. So I'm going to drag a box around this end of that rectangle and hit enter. Now I'm going to pick this point and just drag it back over here. So you can see that stretched that rectangle, just that end, back to the edge of this leg. So I've got a couple more lines to draw in here, a couple more hidden lines. So I'll just click from there to there, hit space to repeat the line command, there to there, match properties, there to there, hit the select tool again to cancel out and match properties, and there you have our 3 views for our bench top. I'm just going to shift that over a little bit. So now that we've got our 3 views set up, I'm going to show you how to add some text and some dimensions to that, and then we're going to put it into paper space for printing.